how many people remember a few years ago when we were talking about the borough system in Los Angeles? Does anybody remember that idea? And Miriam, right, first one, hands up. Right next to her is Dina, okay? And the borough system. Look, the truth of the matter is that when the folks that were drafting and counter-drafting the charter revisions back in 1999, what was it? 98, 99? Look, the whole neighborhood council way was to try to assuage the San Fernando Valley from secession. It was to try to take the neighborhood movement of which you were at the foundation of and say, we'll throw you $50,000 and we'll create a process to keep you down. Well, the genius of the democracy is that that system is starting to bust. Why? Because you got to give people real authority. You got to break it down. No, just, look, the city council has districts of over 250,000 people. You will get a guy who will come here now, but it is so hard to have the system work, to be responsive, to make communities that are vibrant and responsive to people's interests. And so whether it's in big cities like Los Angeles, whether it's big school districts like I campaigned on in terms of the size of LAUSD, shrink the units of government, create certain standards so that they're more responsive and democracy works. I think that that's the only way we're going to still have a vibrancy of a democracy that allows real participation of real folks for a voice, and quite frankly, be able to compete on an international basis. When I was in China last year, I remember going to some factories and some people telling me, why do you want to come here? Employees are $200 a month. You can go to Vietnam and get them for $100 a month. Now, how do we maintain high-wage jobs and healthcare insurance and all the stuff that forms the foundation of what we are in our democracy? How do we stay ahead of everybody else? It's innovation, it's creativity, it's agility. And so what you want to do is to create a government that's innovative, creative, and agile, not central command and control, that allows for that to work. Because as I traveled the world over 80-some countries, what I saw was an energy, the same kind of draw that brought General Moses Hazeltine Sherman to this San Fernando Valley. We still have a brand. We still have an excitement, whether it's from Pakistan or from Inner Mongolia or whether it's from Dongguan or whatever it is. Everybody knows the magic of California, and we can't lose that magic. We can't lose the magic, because that is why the people who are energetic and exciting, immigrants, not Mexicans or Salvadorans or Nicaraguans, immigrants from every corner. People are Swedes and Greeks and every part of the world who are creative and want to make stuff happen. Look at the small businesses. They're the ones who are driving the place. It's not big business. It's 90-some% of the business in California are under 50 employees. Those are folks and family members who are eking it out to make it work. And they're coming here. We've got to maintain that environment. So I just think government needs to reinvent itself, both at the state level, so it gets rid of this craziness that's going on, at the local levels in big cities, to be able to have a sense of community and make it work. And that then will then form the foundation of what we're trying to do. So I jumped in to try to help, to try to bring the parties. What's happening, particularly in Sacramento, and I don't see it, I don't know enough about Los Angeles to know, of just taking their corners. One group's out there trying to reduce 2/3 on taxes. Another group's out there trying to make a part-time legislature and pay everybody $50 a week. Other people are doing different things. And what we at California Forward, with the support of the foundations, are trying to bring them together. So I'm still involved in my solar business. I've still got my law practice. As I think you may have known, I co-chaired NUCHA's transition team with former District Attorney Bob Filibosian. Hugely important to participate in the public debate and to use the experience and judgment that I have to work with young candidates, to help anybody who's willing to engage. Because I just think that one of the greatest frustrations, and I'll end on this, that I've had in politics is, as a young kid. I started as a 18-year-old driver for a kid working for a lieutenant governor in 1973, and I just hate these politicians that you only see them when they want something, that they don't really care. It's all about the promote. It's all about getting the camera on them. It's all about them creating the false impression that they're actually doing something versus doing the hard work and getting in the game. I don't have any patience for those people, and I want to live in a way that's consistent with the values of public service. And I've been doing this for 36 years, for 20-some years before I ever got elected, and even after being elected, staying in the game, participating, exercising the judgment and insights that I could have to help participate and make the system better. Because I think we all owe it to make the democracy work. So for all of you, thanks very much for listening to me. Thanks for inviting me, Richard. Thanks.
Thank you. And we have time, before we let you talk one-on-one, we have a couple questions. We have time for a couple questions. John, the two toughest questions. Pull no punches, please.
Thank you for all your questions.
Thank you.
You can come up and ask the speaker yourself your question. All right. Since, based on what you said, would you please critique the current mayor? How is he doing?
Don't ask me that
And what
question.
can we do better?
That's not fair.
I just, no. Look. I mean, I don't know if you know, but a lot of the people that are still here, he was my roommate in Sacramento. I chaired his campaign or treasured his campaign when he first ran for assembly in 1994. Was it Fred? Yeah, 94. And I've been a big believer in him. I'm frustrated because I just wish he'd spend less time in front of the camera and more time at his desk. You know what I mean? I think he's a bright guy. I love his energy. I love his connectedness. He's got a magic with people that's really important. But politics is about two things. One, you got to be a great showman to be able to get the attention. And two, you got to be a workhorse of doing the quiet, kind of mere daily, unexciting stuff that doesn't get you in the newspapers, but makes a great city.
Oh boy.
The next question is on accountability. How do you hold our state assembly and senators accountable for their financial irresponsibility?
Well, I think you got to throw them out of office, basically, if you don't like it. I mean, the ultimate power is to throw them out of office. What we're going to try to do is to change the system. I got to tell you, I'm just telling you, it's a really, really, really crazy system. And the way the whole process works, when you're a member of the legislature, look, I was speaker. Leadership has a huge impact. I would go to Paul and break his arm to get a vote on something that sometimes he may not agree with because he needed to do it to keep his chairmanship of the Labor Committee. So it's hard. I think it's really, I don't mean facetious about throwing them out. I just think the system doesn't work. I think it creates the big problems we got. If you change the system, I think you get better members. We feel more responsive.
Please come up and meet with Bob Hertzberg.
Thanks, everybody.
Clear up the trash. Third Wednesday, the Bud Debate.
Everybody here.